Okay. Now let's look into the details. Like yesterday, we have just gone through what exactly is Fiori system, and I've shown also the architecture diagram yesterday. We'll also go through that diagram again and again, entire our subject wise. So let us start with how the project starts actually today. Whenever it is like Fiori implementation is done, how it starts, kick starts basically. So I think some of you might heard about this, which is referred as Fiori apps library. Okay, so let's go into that now. So this Fiori apps library, Google web browser. So just you can type it as Fiori apps library. And then you see this is a standard SAP delivered website, official website, where you have all the information related to the Fiori apps. So SAP is keeping on updating all the apps regularly. So the apps are increasing day by day. So whenever they create any new app, whenever they modify any app, so they come and update the data here so that it is visible to the all users, whoever is using the Fiori. Okay, so here we will have the complete list of apps. Like I have categories, all apps for S4HANA, SAP Fiori apps for S4HANA, SAP Fiori apps for Business Suite. So let us look into the all apps total. How many apps are there here? So when I click on all apps, on top of it, you can see a number here, which says around 13K approximately. So we have 13K apps available as of now. Now, let me ask you a question to all of you. How many T codes are there in normal SAP system? In regular ECC system? How many T codes are there?
More than 5,000?
No, not exactly.
It's actually, number is not. There are so many T codes.
You can give me the approximate number, like a rough figure.
More than 14,000.
I think it's a lot.
Anybody?
More.
How many T codes are there in ECC? So because we are all familiar with it.
I think it's a lot more. I think it would be more than 50,000 or something. There are so many T codes.
Yeah, generally.
I think more than 1 lakh. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So there are more than 1.2 lakh T codes in ECC system as of today. Okay. So now just I wanted to compare between what exactly is a T code and what exactly is an app here. So for example, let me go back and I'm typing a name which is called as sales order. So I'm trying to search for an app which is called as a, here we have different types of apps available related to sales orders. I have this app which is called as create sales order. So create sales order is an app is available. It's a transactional app. We discussed this today. There are 3 different types: transactional, fact sheet, etc., etc. So my question was, what is the T code for this? Anybody? Create sales order. What is the T code for this?
VA01.
VA01.
Right, VA01. Okay. So when you talk about ECC system, or it could be your S4HANA, we have the concept of T code. So which is example VA01. Now in Fiori, it's relevant. We will have a tile. So the tile name is create sales order, and every app will have an ID also. If I go back to my screen here, you can see there is an app ID which is unique again. So if you can also search with this app ID. So this is my detail. So now just we spoke about total number of T codes in ECC are more than 1 lakh. S4 HANA will be still approximately the same thing. So I have 1 lakh T codes. Let's take 1 lakh T codes in our backend system. But you look into the total apps,
Sridhar, your voice is breaking
13,
in between.
right? All of you getting my point? Okay, so not sure. What should I do? Actually, the network is okay from my side. Okay, let me know when exactly is breaking so that I can repeat it.
Sure, Sridhar.
Yeah. So what I was referring about is, if we just look into the factor of how many total T codes are there, we have 100K plus. But when you look into total apps, there are only 13K as of now. Okay, that includes S4 HANA, ECC related, and cloud related as complete data. Okay, so what you need to understand is every T code does not have a relevant app. Getting my point, all of you? So why SAP has released only very few apps? The reason being is they are just concentrating currently on end user transactions. Okay, SAP is currently concentrating on what? SAP is focused on end user transactions, what they are using. See, Fiori is mainly for the end users, not for technical consultants like us. Like the T codes like VA01, they do these activities like FB01, purchase order, invoice approvals, purchase requisition approvals. So SAP is mainly focusing on the end user transactions, which end user is actually using, and they are trying to build apps for it, so that in future when SAP Fiori is implemented for them, they don't want the user to use this T code directly. They can go to the Fiori launchpad, see this tile, create sales order, click on the tile, and he will perform the action. So that is the main focus of SAP as of now. So all of you got some clarity now? So the T codes are very high when compared to less number of when compared to apps. So what is the reason? SAP is focused currently on what? Only on end user transactions currently. So maybe in future they may increase the apps even for us also, like technical consultants, but it is not useful for us, so useful for us. We are comfortable using all our transactions. Like what transaction we use from security perspective, it could be SU01, it could be PFCG, SUIM, SU10 to daily support the client. So those T codes we feel comfortable using that only. If it changes in future, we may not know how it appears. But now, as of now, no change for us. So the change is coming for whom? End users. So they will see lot of changes coming in the system. Right. Now, Coming to standard implementation, there are different types of implementation strategies what they follow in every client. So this discussion will be done in the initial phases when they say, okay, let us implement Fiori. So how that has to be implemented. So Fiori comes in two ways, as I told you. If client is on ECC system, or if client is on S/4HANA system, so two different scenarios we have here. If the client is still on ECC, or if the client is already on S/4HANA. In S/4HANA, by default, Fiori comes by default embedded in it. But if the client is on ECC, they have to go with a separate system. So separate system means what? So let me go back to the diagram which we saw yesterday. Yeah. So this is on the left hand side, I have my ECC model, whereas on the right hand side, I have my S/4HANA model. In ECC model, you can see there is a separate system on top of it, which is Fiori. So it means you need to install a separate system, which we call it as Fiori system, front-end system, or gateway system. It is called with the different names, with the different environments. But most probably front-end we call it, or directly you can call it as a Fiori system, sometimes gateway. So it is a separate system when it is ECC. But when it comes to S/4HANA, Fiori is embedded. Fiori is embedded within your S/4HANA. So you need not have a separate system installed. So within the same system, you have Fiori is embedded. So that is what I am referring to here. Two scenarios we have when it comes to implementation strategy. So standard, when it is standard implementation process, what we do is they generally go to this Fiori apps library. They look into the apps, what all apps are available for them. Okay, like what all apps are available for them in the sense is, as I told you, for different systems, different types of apps are available here. If I go back to my home screen, see, these are apps for S/4HANA. Let me click on all apps for HANA, and we will see how many apps are. So I click on S/4HANA. So you can see there are given by area-wise, different product, business process-wise, like by industry, by role, by backend product, best practices, line of business. If I go to line of business, you can see different line of businesses. Like for example, if your organization is a manufacturing sector, so you can click on manufacturing and see what all apps are delivered for you. So these are all the apps delivered for that particular sector. So in this way, any client can come here during implementation. If they decide to go with a custom, if they decide to go with the standard one, they will first come and look into the apps, what all apps are available here. So the apps are picked from where? Fiori apps library. Now next coming to, if it is ECC, then they have to concentrate here, which is called as the SAP Fiori apps for business suite. So when I go to business suite related stuff, apps, any app, if I take any app related to business suite, let me open one app here. So make bank transfer. Here you can see SAP Business Suite, this app is available for 3 different systems. Business Suite is nothing but ECC. S4 HANA, this is on-premise, and this is S4 HANA Cloud. So means this particular app is available in all the 3 systems: ECC, S4 HANA on-premise, S4 HANA Cloud. So there will be few particular apps which are available only for Business Suite. See here, it is not available for Cloud. If I go back to my sales orders, create sales order, this is applicable only for Business Suite. It is not available in S4 HANA model. There is no drop down at all here. So like this, depending on your system landscape, the list of apps will be limited again. So though there are 13K apps, depending on what is your landscape, is it ECC or is it S4 HANA, the app number, the count will differ again based on your system landscape. So once the apps are listed, you can implement all the apps, or you can choose most important apps. So that is what they do most of the time. We go to a sandbox system. We build a sandbox system for Fiori, and in that sandbox system, we will implement all the apps. Implement means just assign all the standard roles which are available in the SAP. The standard roles will give access to all the standard apps. So that we will discuss. We'll see later how these standard roles will give access. So we can give all the access to in the sandbox system, and then we will give that sandbox system to the users, to the business. Please choose the apps, what all apps you want out of this, so that they have a real-time feeling how the app looks like, how the app works, all those stuff. They can see it in live when you give them the sandbox system. Okay, is that clear all of you so far? So in both the methods in the same way, list of apps we have to finalize, whether to implement all the apps. That is in sandbox, we do this. But when we go to real-time environment, like then we will choose a specific apps only. Maybe they don't want to implement all the apps, so that is what we implement the specific apps there. Okay, so all of you clear here? Standard implementation. No changes are done anywhere. Just we are choosing whatever is available in the standard given by SAP. Now, another way is customized. So customized means what? Right from the beginning, the client is very focused, or client is clear about the requirement. Like a requirement what? Client has a specific list of T codes for which apps have to be developed. So they wanted a very few T codes, like they are very concentrated on few T codes, like 50 T codes or 100 T codes. For these 100 T codes, they want to develop the apps. They have two choices. When they have very particular about those number of T codes, then we have a choice, like whether we have to choose the standard apps which are available in Fiori apps library, or the another way is to build the app completely right from the scratch. Okay, like how to build completely an app from the right from the scratch. So the look and feel of each app. Look and feel means what? How the app should look like. So this requirement we have to in the initial discussions, requirement gathering with the client, we discuss with them. Like so generally the tile is like tile only. It will look like a tile. When they click on the tile, what is that they have to see? So the layout of the page, like how many pages are there inside? What are the fields inside each page? Placing of the fields. It's just similar to website building. So how do you build a website? It is just similar to that. Okay, is it clear, all of you? So this part will be done by the UI designer, the Fiori designer, UI designer. So this is all just we are discussing about the strategies actually. So our role hasn't come into picture as of now to play. Maybe you can sit in the discussions, but we don't have a major role to play here, especially in whether it is standard or customized, because we are picking up almost of the standard. And if it is customized also, this is all done by the person, the UI designer or the Fiori designer, how to build an app from the scratch. Okay, so now when you working in some organization, look there, like what they have done. Are they using the standard apps, or they have completely customized the apps? So both the cases can be available to you when you see some projects. So you can categorize into two categories, where they have used only standard and where they have used completely customized apps. So when it is completely customized apps, the apps will be limited. They will be using very limited apps. But when it is standard, usually you see very high number of apps because they have nothing to do there. So they implement, it is easy to implement. So they will go for all apps implementation if it is standard. And there is the hybrid model, which we call it like standard plus customized. Within the standard apps, customization is done. So we will pick up the apps, whatever available by SAP, given by SAP. Within those apps, we can do the customization. So customization in the sense, like as I told you, the fields should be in each page. What are the fields inside? The placing of the fields. Such changes can be done. But again, if these changes are done, whenever upgrade happens, like your Fiori system is upgraded, so accordingly, you should be doing the testing accordingly, because you are modifying the standard code there. So it is not better to touch the standard code, and it is better to completely build the new code if you are going for customization. This will be a little bit complicated if you go with this model. If you are going and touching the standard apps and you are inserting customization into that, so whenever a new version comes up or when new support pack comes up, the code also gets modified accordingly, and your customization and your app may not work well. Okay, so that is where this model will be a bit complicated. So these are the three different models, how it will be implemented. So the outcome of this discussion, whatever we have discussed on the top, so the final list of apps to be implemented and developed, example, they said they came out with a list, okay, let us develop 100 apps. So that is what they decided, whatever the discussion may be, whether it is customized one or standard plus customized one. So the outcome of this discussion, they said, we will go with the final list. These are approved, means these apps should be, we are going to implement these apps in our project now, 100 apps. So now coming to implementation strategy, how do we do that? So generally we have two methods, waterfall method and then agile method. It's also called as Scrum or one of the methodologies there. So in waterfall method, the start of development of all 100 apps same time. We will start the development. Start development of all 100 apps same time. So the time period will be long term, like 6 months time or 1 year time to implement and move to production. That is waterfall methodology. But when it comes to Scrum methodology or agile method, so we will divide this 100 apps into equal slots. Like let us say 20 apps to be moved to production within a month. Second 20 apps will be repeated in the next month. Next 20 apps will be repeated in next month. So there is one advantage in this method. The advantage is what? Within 1 month of time, you can come to know what are the disadvantages, what are the hurdles you are facing. That hurdles you can avoid in the next month. Getting my point? So when you are implementing 20 apps, I said the time given to you is within a month you have to implement them. Implement them means the user has to see in the production system, these apps should be visible to him. Whereas in the earlier method, 100 apps should be visible to him in 6 months time. But here we are focusing only just 20 apps, 20 tiles that should be visible to the user within a month. So you are completely going one full cycle. Like full cycle means what? Developing an app, testing the app, then moving it to quality, doing user acceptance test, and then once user acceptance test is success, then you will move it to production. In the process of doing this, you may face issues. So you will understand how to rectify them within 1 month. It may get delayed also, no problem here. If it is not within 1 month, it may even get delayed also. But in the next month, you will ensure that those issues are not repeated. And 3rd month onwards, it will be easy for you because you have already faced all the problems earlier and know how you know how to tackle them. The only problem with Agile methodology is time is very short. The time is very short. Initial months will be very tough actually to implement that method. So this is not your part. You will not be involved in this discussion whether the project should go in the waterfall methodology or Agile methodology unless you are in the architect level. So if you are as an architect in any project, then you may sit in such discussions, especially in this discussion what we are talking about. Okay, so all of you clear with these 2 methods here? Implementation strategies, waterfall and Agile. Any questions here so far? Okay, right. So whatever the method is let us talk about Agile methodology, because we are not going to build so many apps, right? As per this class, what we will do, I will pick up 1 or 2 or some few apps, like maybe 10 apps. Those 10 apps we will try to implement in a system. So we will be taking this standard apps only because we cannot do the customization, the technical part. So let us focus on 10 apps or a rough number of apps. So to implement those 10 number or whatever the number we discussed, from technical point of view, from security perspective especially, so these are the things we should focus. So in the technical, when it comes to technical discussion, so we will pick up each app and then we have to discuss who will be the target audience for it. Means who will be using this app. So target audience means who should access this app. And then grouping of apps. Grouping means what? Like a create sales order, manage sales order, display sales order. All these 3 apps, we will place it under one particular group, so that any user belonging to that particular area, sales area, we will assign this group to him. So he will get access to those all 3 apps. So each app information, who will be the audience and who will be doing the user acceptance test, we should identify the users. Once we develop and give it to them, when it is moved to migration quality system, who will be testing the apps. And the second is grouping of apps, which apps are grouped together. Now coming to 2 models, as I told you, if it is hub model or embedded model, we will get it way. So in hub model, we have 2 different systems. I have ECC, my backend system, Fiori as in my front-end system. So in ECC, I have a role which gives access to, okay. So I was talking about technical here. So in technical discussions, what we talk about here is each app, who will be the target audience, who should access this app. So that is important, because when we do the development, we are not from functional background, right? I will develop the app, like for example, create sales order, but the person who is actually using that app has to test it. He can be helpful in testing, in development and quality also. So actual testing comes in UAT, that is migration system or quality system. But you have that list of users beforehand, so it is always helpful for us to check with them in the process of development itself. That is one thing I'm talking about in technical. And second thing is grouping of apps. So grouping means what? Like which all apps are grouped together. Like under one role, if I assign a role to one user, what all apps should be visible to him. So that is the concept we have to finalize before we go into develop the things. Now coming to two models. First we'll discuss about hub model. In hub model, if it is ECC system, as I told you, we have two different systems, ECC and Fiori. So ECC role, the role which we create in ECC will give access to T codes and authorizations. This is a normal way how you do a regular. Okay. This is a normal method how you do it in the regular method. Like that, we'll be creating a role. It is not part of our normal R3 security. But when it comes to Fiori, here we need to build a role which gives access to catalogs and groups. Groups is nothing but a group of tiles, plus along with that OData services. So the Fiori role we have to concentrate more here. How to create a role with the catalog, groups and OData services. So means if user is having role 1 in ECC, then the user should have which role in Fiori? Role 2 in Fiori. So then only he can be successfully accessing the app. Getting my point? So if I go back to my diagram yesterday, yeah. So if you look into this diagram here, this is my Fiori system, and to my Fiori system all are connected. ECC is connected. Okay. In ECC, I have the transaction VA01. Okay, fine. Now, when user launches the Fiori Launchpad, he should see a tile here called as sales order creation. So to see that tile, what role he should have? To see this tile in Fiori system, in Fiori Launchpad, which role is responsible for that, for the visibility of tiles? Anyone? Is it a Fiori role or ECC role?
It's a Fiori role.
Pardon?
It should be a Fiori role, not ECC.
Fiori role.
Fiori role.
Yeah, correct. Fiori role. So, okay. And when I click on that particular tile, it will take me to the page related to the sales order here. So this sales order data, whatever I'm getting the data, like sales order number and other information about that sales order, is coming from your backend system ECC. Okay. So means suppose imagine user is having only Fiori role, he does not have relevant ECC backend role which contains VA01 transaction. What will happen then? What problem the user can face?
will get an error, so he may not be retrieve the data just by Fiori role. He should have ECC role as well.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever the data displayed when I click on the app, that data will not be displayed, and it says that you do not have access to this particular T code or the relevant authorization. Similarly, if user has ECC role and user does have Fiori role, he will not see the tile at all. So going to the T code information is later, second stage. So if you don't have a Fiori role, user will not have the Fiori tile itself. Okay. So coming back to my document here. So documentation has to be properly done. What documentation? Mapping between ECC roles and Fiori roles. For which ECC role, what is the Fiori relevant role? Understood this one, all of you? What you have to document here? For which ECC role, what is the relevant Fiori role? So both of them, if user is present in ECC with this role, then he should have the Fiori role in the Fiori system. So that is called as role mapping details. You have to maintain it somewhere, especially if it is hub model. All of you clear with this?
Yes. So Sridhar, basically a user should have both, like ECC as well as Fiori role. Right?
Exactly. To perform successfully the tile, if he wants to execute the tile successfully, he should have both the roles. In ECC, the relevant backend transaction related role, and in the front end, that is Fiori, the tile related role, the Fiori role.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's about the hub model. Now, what is the difference between hub model and embedded model? When it comes to embedded model, it's already system is embedded, right? Okay, so in embedded model, we have only one system, which is S4 HANA system, because Fiori is embedded in it. The role which you are creating in S4 HANA system, it can contain T codes plus with authorizations plus catalogs and groups which gives tiles access plus OData service. So if you understand the difference here, when you look into the ECC model, they are separated. T codes and authorizations are coming from ECC role, whereas catalogs, groups, tiles, access, and OData services are coming from Fiori role. Here within S4 HANA, the same role can have all the data in one role, the relevant. So here we don't need to maintain such documentation, because when you assign this role, user will get access to everything. User will get access to tile, user will get access to the relevant T code in the backend and the relevant OData service. Okay, all of you clear with this concept in embedded model? And then we have one more, which is called as a hybrid model. Hybrid model is a case where the client is already using S4 HANA. So S4 HANA means already Fiori is embedded, but they don't want to keep, they don't want to use that. Instead, they will go for a separate Fiori system. Okay. So in spite of having already Fiori in S4 HANA, they don't use it. They will still treat it as ECC only, where their role will contain only T codes and authorizations, and they will have an implement separate Fiori system where the catalogs and groups. And again, you have to do the documentation here for which S4 HANA role, what Fiori role has to be given. So why they could go like this? What is the reason behind this? Maybe this Fiori has to be connected to multiple other systems also. They want to connect this Fiori system as a front end to many other systems also, maybe. So you can also find such type of model as well. Clear, all of you? So 3 models here we discussed. So when if you are already working in some projects, so which you are falling under which model, you can look into it, details, and then how the design has been, the role design has been given or done. You can also look into that information. So if you have questions, you can come back to me. I will clarify you if you have related to your design, how the design has been done. Okay, so that's about the initial discussion of what hours and how the implementation models and all those stuff is done.
Sridhar, one quick question. So in the model, embedded model, so but roles are different, right? So Fiori roles are different, and the transactional data role are different. Only thing is they are sitting in the one system instead of sitting in different system. In a hub model, 2 different systems,
Yes.
but in embedded model, sitting in the same system but 2 different roles. Is that correct? Okay, thank you.
Okay, here you can keep in the one role also, or you can separate again 2 roles. This is one model. You can do that.
Okay.
Role 1 will contain, you can put separately if you want. You don't want to combine them together. T codes plus authorizations in one, and then role 2 within the same system.
Okay.
So this could be this one. You can same role. You can put it in the same role. You can include all of them because system will allow them. Otherwise, still you can follow the same method what you have earlier followed within your ECC.
When we separate again role 1, role 2, how can we map again those 2 into 1? Doesn't require mapping?
Yeah, that again the map. Wherever with 2 different roles, documentation has to be. That is must.
And irrespective of that, mapping of the role will not change, right?
Mapping between T code role and
it's the same thing. Mapping would be the same thing. I think only instead of adding 2 roles, we can add a single role where it will integrate with the catalog and also the transactional data.
yeah, only in the above case I told you, as I told you, within the same role, if you are maintaining everything, then you don't need any documentation as such. But if you have again 2 roles, as you asked now, then again documentation will come into picture. Because the problem is when you are creating users, they may assign role 1 and they forget to assign role 2. Or they may assign role 2 and they may forget to assign role 1. So in other cases, the user will face problem.
So it's a good practice to combine both roles in one role. That's what you suggest.
Okay, that is one thing you can do. Or the second thing is these 2 roles you can put into a composite role and then assign to the user. That is also enough.
Makes sense.
You can create a composite role which contains role 1 plus role 2. That would be enough, right? No need of maintaining any mapping also. But you have to properly do this design.
But Sridhar, role 1 and role 2. Yes, Sridhar, question. But role 1 and role 2, they are if it is embedded model, so this is already there, right? So we as a developer, the Fiori developer, need not to work on the mapping between role 1 and role 2, right? Because it is already there in the embedded model. It is out of the box feature of the S4HANA Fiori model, right? So do the developers still need to work between the mapping between role 1 and role 2?
See, here I have given 3 models for you. First is, this is the model within S4 HANA. So this is one scenario. With the same role, you can have all of them. Okay? Or you will have 2 different roles. And then third case is composite role. So in both the cases 2 and 3, the mapping has to be done. The documentation has to be done. In first case, you don't need. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you, Sridhar.
Yeah. So these are all like initial phases.
But Sridhar, one query.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like if you have the if you have the embedded system where you are having the first case, in which scenarios will we use the second case? If the documentation needs to be done, we can go for the hub model only, right? Why again we have to split the role into and again add in a composite role?
Yes, that's what I'm saying actually. So if your role design is how the role design has been done. See, most of the cases, what happens, Fiori is a new system, right? When we designed our roles, when we designed our roles actually in ECC system, later we upgraded to S4 HANA, suppose, means the role were designed some 10 years back. So what are the T codes in it? I'm not sure about it. Or it is very, again, I have to do the complete role cleanup process, everything. So I'm not touching the roles which I already have, role 1. Role 1 is coming from my ECC. Okay. Only just I have to ensure role 2 is ready so that the user can be used the Fiori system. Clear, all of you? Is that clear? If it is a new implementation, for example, new implementation, new means what? You don't have SAP at all in the beginning. Now you have implemented directly S4 HANA. Then you can choose any one of them. You are free to choose any model, whether it is same role or 2 different roles. Then 2 different roles will not make a sense. You can go with the first model itself when it is a fresh implementation. When it is not a fresh implementation, you already have these T code roles ready, right? In your ECC or S4 HANA, already the roles are ready for you. The only thing you have to create is this catalog groups row which gives access to them. Or you have to modify all these roles, existing T code roles, insert this catalog and do them only. But we don't know, again, it will give access to which all users to do correct mapping according to the users, because a lot of things are dependent. I told you about the target audience, which user has to use that app. So currently, if this role is assigned to 100 users, and this app should be accessible only by 20 users, you should not assign them into the same role. 100 users are having this role, but only 20 users should have this tile access. So that will be differentiated. It easily can be handled, right, in this case. So if it is 2 different separate roles, we can restrict the number of users using the apps. But if it is the same role, we cannot restrict it. So the number of users you are assigning, the users will automatically get the T code access and the Fiori tile access. So I am trying to discuss all possible scenarios, what you can see in the real time. Getting my point, all of you?
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay, right. So this is all about the implementation strategies. Okay. So the most important one is Fiori apps library part. It is a standard one. So that we will discuss. I will stop it for here today because we have other people joined today. So we'll continue from next weekend, 2-hour session. So we'll have 2-hour session next weekend. So Saturday and Sunday. So from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. we'll have 2 hours. We will have a break in between of 10 minutes between 2 sessions. 2 sessions in the sense between 2 hours of time. And those who are not part of the WhatsApp group. So how many are not part of the WhatsApp group? Like joined today and did not confirm me yesterday or today. I think IFI is one. IFI, shall I add you to the group?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? I have only one Krishna in my group. Who is the other one not there? Okay, please ping me if you are not part of the group so that I can add you. Otherwise, next class onwards, I will not allow you for the classes if you are not part of the group. So that I have to finalize the group who are joining the classes.
I'm not part of the group, Shrita.
I just added you.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Let me. Yes.
Okay, who is the group currently part of? Is it Krishna Babu or Krishna Reddy?
Krishna Babu is part of the group.
Okay. So Krishna Reddy, you are not part of the group.
No, Sridhar, I am also part of the group. Yesterday also I have attended the class. So that Deepthi is my name. Sorry.
Yeah, what's your name? I'm asking.
Hello.
Class. So are you part of the class group? I'm asking.
Yes, I am the part of the group.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, Sridhar.
Which group you are talking about? Which group you are talking
about?
Yeah,
I am the part of the group. Yes, Sridhar.
Which group? What is the group name?
Yeah, Fiori Security, right? No, right. I don't know, but whether you have created or not, added me in that group or not. I have already attended the class.
That's what I'm saying. Can you please ping me on WhatsApp to me?
Yeah, sure, Sridhar.
Please ping me right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right then, all of you. Any queries for today? I will stop it for today here. So we'll continue from next week onwards.
Sridhar, can you send the document of this document?
Yes, I will send the documentation. The fees has been paid and you are joining up all those things. Okay.
Sridhar, quick question. If you during the class, if you miss any session, how are we going to cover?
Next batch. Every month I have a batch. You can join the batch. Next batch.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sridhar, this is Nidhi. Sridhar, hi, this is Nidhi.
Yeah,
so I'm just wondering, I did not get any information like where exactly I need to, wire the money. So if you can send it over the WhatsApp, would be great.
Yes, I will send because yesterday I have sent in the evening. Later, some other people joined. I will again send you the details in the group now.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So once you paid the fee, please ping me your email ID also so that I can forward the documentation.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any other queries for today?
So in embedded and hub model, we are using OData service just to act like a bridge from one system to another. But in bridge model, where do we use that OData service?
Which model you're talking?
In hybrid model.
Hybrid model. Okay, see, there are two versions of OData. It needs in both of them. So it needs in ECC role, plus it needs in this also. So we'll discuss more when we create the roles. We'll get more clearing understanding and in that. So it also needs an ECC role also, data service. Okay, do not worry about that. When we create the roles, actually, you will see that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Shreya.
Okay, right, everyone. Thanks for joining. See you all next week.
Thank you, Sridhar. Bye.